Welcome to Post Game on the Pitch. I'm Mazvita, Maraire, and I am excited. We've got Tenzin Choephle from Portland beat writer. Who else are you writing for?
Radio Cascadia.
Radio Cascadia, of course. To my right, Matt Hoffman, MLS.com. Writes, again, another Portland beat writer. And there's another outlet you write for.
Stumptown Footy, part of the SB Nation network.
Oh, go on with your bad self. And my man, you know the guy. He's going to bring you the stats. He's going to give you some insight. Stephen Agen of Radio Cascadia.
Some of the stats are good and some of them not so good, depending on your perspective today, Maz.
All right, I'm going to start with a quick kind of let you know what happened, and then I'm going to let these gentlemen really tell you, give you some insight on what happened. We saw, well, Portland won 3-2, the second time that the Timbers have beaten the Sounders here, and we saw 5 second-half goals. It was 0-0 at halftime. Tenzin, what was the difference between the first half and the second half?
Well, I think it was just the opportunities the Timbers were able to convert. You saw that set pieces goals were key. Mabiala specifically was the target. He had 2 goals. Center back who's just been playing well. He's 4 goals in the season, 3 in the last 2. And he talked about it in the post-game press conference about how him and Valeri kind of have this rapport now. Previously, set pieces haven't traditionally been the way the Timbers have scored goals before. And Mabiala is starting to realize just how Valeri kicks the ball, and now he's been able to make his runs accordingly. So I think it was just a good game, and obviously once the first goal went in, you saw the game open up for both the Sounders and the Timbers, and counterattacking was a key to the Timbers victory.
Stephen, what's your take from the first half, second half, and then we couldn't cut it, Mabiala? What happened?
Yeah, I think that the Sounders were able to raise their level on the day beyond what they've shown recently, what they've shown in 2018. Rodriguez and Ladero connected very well. Rodriguez had his best game of the season. It just still wasn't enough against a Portland side who tactically, lineup-wise, and just on the day are very far ahead of the Seattle Sounders right now.
Matt, did he get it right as the Portland coach? Did he get this right?
Absolutely. Giovanni Savarese said this is one of the games that he doesn't even need to talk to his players about. It's a derby game. Everyone's going to come fired up. He came in with a plan, and then they knew at the second half that Seattle's going to need Seattle needs points. They're going to gamble, and they took advantage of that.
And so, what was his message after the game? You were in the locker room, because I'm going to kind of talk about Smetsa, but what was the locker room like for the Timbers?
Oh, it's jubilant. They in fact, Stephen even heard the celebration through like two walls of concrete.
It's true.
The first time the Timbers have won here in a regular season MLS match. It's the 101st game of this derby. It's jubilation. They're laughing. Armenteros and Mabiala are discussing who has the bigger head. It's a good time to be a Timbers fan.
And it is not a good time to be a Seattle fan, because right now Smetsa was really kind of a man soul searching. He was really wandering in the desert trying to figure out what to do. All credit, Stephen, to Brian Smetsa, because he really answered all the questions. You asked him, we asked him some pretty poignant questions, right, in terms of the inability to mark up and things like that. But it's just not a good time right now to be a Seattle Sounder player and a coach, is it?
Yeah, I think the most pointed question I put to Schmetzer after the game was asking him about the predictability of the attack. And naturally, Raul Ruidiaz was signed today, officially unveiled in front of the crowd. But I thought it was a fair question for Seattle in the last couple of weeks in terms of their tactics, in terms of the decisions they make in the final third. Has it just been too predictable? Another word for that might be too slow. And Schmetzer agreed that it has been. And at the same time, I don't know that all Sounders fans will find his answer satisfactory, as the addendum to it was, we play how we play, and we will continue to do that.
Well, they can't continue to do what they're doing, because it'll be a bad look at the end of the season. And one of those things that you showed to me was how they took too long in terms of getting the ball to the outlet. And that's something that Portland has no issue with, Tenzin, because if we're looking at that, we're looking at how Valeri played, and then a guy that you kind of had me look at was Armenteros in terms of how he's playing. And he's an upgrade from Addy. Would you say that?
I wouldn't say an upgrade. I would say a different player. He's able to kind of stretch the field a bit more. But you also saw today his hold-up play was excellent. Getting balls, holding up so Valeri and Aspria can keep running forward. He was excellent. He had the goal today on a counter. So I think really Armenteros is, when given the opportunity, he stepped up.
I mean, is it his vision? Is it his pace? What is it about him that makes him special?
It's his ability to stretch the field and take defenders on. He's a very direct player, and sometimes you don't really see that with Audi, but it's all credit to Armenteros, his style of play. It really worked out when the field opened up.
All right, so what does that do to this rivalry that's going on that's not seeming so much like a rivalry lately, is it, Stephen, in terms of the Timbers and the Sounders?
Well, I will admit I don't want to correct my friend Matt here, but I believe it's only the 88th Sounders-Timbers derby. For those who know how to count, not including the Western Conference Super League or whatever it was from 88 to 92. At the end of the day, the Timbers have won at CenturyLink 3 times since I've been a soccer fan. One was in 2009, one was in 2013, and one today. And so it just doesn't happen all that often. It's a massive day for the Portland Timbers. It's a massive day for the traveling fans. For me, I think it signals the real arrival of Giovanni Savarese in Cascadia in Major League Soccer, showing that he's a tactical, creative, solid force to be reckoned with.
Matt, the Portland side, I mean, he kind of took it. I'll hold him back for you, but what's your take in terms of the rivalry here? I mean, is Portland beginning to impose their will?
I would certainly say so. It certainly looks like it. Giovanni Savarese is coming to Portland. He's positive. He brings a positivity with him. He wants players to express themselves in the last match. Last derby, the 100th edition of this derby.
87.
In the 87th minute, when Sebastian Blanco scored his goal, he went behind the goal, pulled on a Chucky mask. We asked him, "Are you worried about getting a card, a yellow, a caution for that, for bringing a prop on the field?" He goes, "That was his nickname in Argentina. It was Chucky." He wants his players to express themselves. The next game, Armenteros ran to the stands and celebrated the Army. Again, he did get a card for that, but Savarese was over the moon because he wants his players to express themselves. He stresses positivity, and you don't get much more positive than coming up to probably your most bitter rival and getting a win.
Tenzin, they've talked about the rivalry in terms of the derby going on, but in terms of Portland as a team, right? This is, you'll know better than this is their 12th win in all competition. I mean, what do you see up ahead for this team? Are they going? I mean, they're clicking, they're self-expressed. What's your take in terms of where the Timbers are going?
I mean, they talked about it's just the mentality of the team, and I mean, they just need to keep doing what they're doing, right? 12 across all competitions, every couple games coming up. San Jose next week, and then take that momentum to the Open Cup matches. They have a chance to really win the U.S. Open Cup for the first time. So I think they're just trending in the right direction, trusting Gio players, knowing that they're going to come out with different formations, right? So it's really just keep doing what you do.
Stephen, I'll give you the last word in terms of the Sounders. Given exactly what Tenzin said, could I just flip the script on the Sounders on that? What's your take in terms of where this team's going?
Just first have to commend our Timbers beat writers here. I really do think that their team's about to win the U.S. Open Cup, certainly the favorites remaining. Just Giovanni Savarese, what a revelation in the Western Conference this year. But as far as the Seattle Sounders go, their next matchup is with the Colorado Rapids at Dick's Sporting Goods Park on the 4th of July. Every game is a must-win now. Everything in July is a must-win for the Sounders. And the way to start looking at games, take a look at the rest of the schedule, pick where that game is in terms of difficulty. If it's below halfway, you have to win it.
Well, just a quick 30-second between you and I, just from a Seattle perspective. Raul Ruidiaz, too little, too late.
The fan base is really excited about him. I think he could be one of the most dynamic players in the league. I think that anybody who watched Seattle today would tell you that one player is not going to make the difference.
Fair enough. Matt Hoffman for MLS.com, Portland Timbers. Tenzin Choephle.
Correct.
Yes, I got it right. Portland Timbers beat writer. What else?
For Radio Cascadia.
And Radio Cascadia. My guy, Stephen Agen for Radio Cascadia. I'm Mazvita Maraire for CascadiaSports.net. That's it for Post Game on the Pitch. We'll talk to you, in a couple weeks, Stephen, correct?